my community. Yes. Yo, if you haven't picked up your shirts, go pick it up. My community, what's good? We here, we live. It's Saturday, y'all. Y'all know what that means. It's time to get into the business. Let's talk. What up, Felicia? What up, Latia? The real Miss McClennan, what's good? I see you. Missy Kumba, Miss J. What's up, Brenda Goodwine? One of my day ones. What's up to all my day ones? What up, Self-Care Momo? One of my day ones. Yo, my community. What's good? Y'all go get y'all shirts. Y'all go get y'all shirts right now. Well, after the live, when I'm done here, y'all go pick up y'all shirts. What up, Millie? Miss J. We here. Hey, they not like us. That at Four Daughters was good. Giovanni Spotto was good. I am Reese. What's good? My community, what's good? We here. We here. I'm Marcus 20. I see you. Missy Kumba, I see you. Self-Care Momo, y'all go to my bio. The link's in my bio. El Classy by Olawatoyan. That was hard, but what's up from Nigeria? I see you. A Bondon, I see you. Every Dory, I see you. Gorgeous One, I see you. Goddess Mirza Rockahontas, one of my day ones. I see y'all. What's good? Hollywood, Hollyworld. Yo, let's see what's good with the community today. One of my day ones. I see you, girl. I see you, Gorgeous One. Yes, you are here. One of my day ones. We here. The Games 88. My community. Miss Lindsay, I see you. Miss Lindsay, I see you. I got your name right this time. Hey, y'all go get y'all shirts. Dr. Benjamin DDS, one of my day ones. I see you. Latifa Gross, I see you. DR.ELOM, how to get over a guy who isn't into you. Getting over someone who isn't into you is actually easier than getting over someone who is into you. Yo, if they're not into you, leave them alone. You deserve somebody who wants to revere you, cherish you, make you feel special, talk to you, do things with you, grow with you, build with you. If they're not into you, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Ethan Maxud, what's good? I see you. I see you. Self-Care Momo, I hope that helps. But we here. My community. What's good? Yo, we got a special guest today, all the way from Texas. We're going to see what's good. Ambitious Mind of Peace, I see you. The Games 88, I see you. Tony Apia, I see you. Y'all go get y'all shirts. Y'all make sure to go get y'all shirts. My community, what's good? We here. Nicole Marie, I see you. Seth from Maine. What up from the East Coast? Chrissy Griff, I see you. Yo, how is everyone's doing? How was everyone's weekend? How tall are you, bro? You look like a giant. Yes, I am 6'5", 6'6" with shoes. Dr. Benjamin DDS wants to know, am I still poly? Yes, I'm still out here fighting the good fight. I tried monogamy, y'all. I really did. I tried my hardest. My girl is pregnant. Where should I go? Which country do you recommend? What do you mean, bro? Are you leaving your girl? You say she's pregnant now, you're running away? You want to know what country to go hide out at? Polygam gang. But I don't know about poly. I don't know about monogamy. I'm just out here trying to figure it out like everyone else. I'll share with you my experiences, and I will share with you what has worked for me, and hopefully it can work for you, because if it doesn't work for me, then why would I be doing it? Unique Barbie doll on wheels. What's good? The law of attraction, I see you. I was just starting Polysecure. I can't understand it. What's Polysecure? All these new names, I ain't even got time to keep up with all the names, let alone know what I want to do. What up, the busy man? That is a funny handle. I love it. I absolutely love it. JD West 212 in the house. It is it called ethical monogamous? Yeah, I I don't know. Is that the name of the book? Kendra Ella A. Kendra Ella A. Kendra Ella A. What's good, girl? Y'all can get my shirts. My community. If you ain't picked up your shirt yet, go pick it up. My community. Islander 2259. I see you. What's good? Read you 22. Steph the artist. What's good? Miss Clarissa G. I see you, girl. Oh, Clarissa G. I see you in my DMs. I'm gonna holler at you. I see you, girl. Polly Secure is the book. JD West. I see you. Read you. Yes, yes, yes. What's good? Queen I Cole. I see you. Ethical non-monogamous. I feel like if you're gonna be non-monogamous, you better be. We should be ethical no matter what. I don't even know why we got to put ethical in front of non-monogamy. Like non-ethical, non-monogamous. I met a guy who was confused about religion. He was Christian and considered Buddhism. Should I support him or leave him? I, if you love him, support him. I don't care what his religion is. It shouldn't matter. But some people are tied to their religion and don't want to accept other people's religion, so I get it. But if you care about this guy, then be with him. I guess his religion shouldn't be a huge determining factor. I'm going to move just a little bit that way. Y'all can see me nice and clear. Boom, boom, boom. What's good? We here. Today's topic, marriage and divorce. Have I ever been married before? No, I have not been married before, but I was this close to getting married, and I was this close to having kids, and oof, I sit here before you right now, a healed man, sending gratitude up to the sky that did not happen. Okay, let's start with the agenda. 40 is a good number to start off with. What you talking about, girl? As long as he's not worshiping the devil. Miss Kadisha, you funny. My community, y'all are funny. I've never been divorced. She said, I am Muslim, just to make it more complicated. Yeah, the Muslim religion, that's pretty cut and dry there. Can't really no wiggle room there. Raquel, what's good? Miss Khadijah, I see you, girl. May Mavinga, Vandross 7, Tokyo Breezy, Kendra Ellie 8. I like saying your name, Kendra. Kendra Ellie 8. Kendra Ella 8. Jay the boss was good. I see you. Black artistry. I see you. Attitude is in the gratitude, and vice versa. Gratitude is in the attitude. I feel that. Miss Asia Renee. That is such a pretty name, Miss Asia Renee. That flows nicely. I like that. Asia. Hey, Asia A. What's good? Andre Gomez. What's good? My community, yo. I have never been married, but I was this close. I've never had kids, but I was this close. Hi from Italy on holiday. Oh, what's good? Asia A. Jacoby Pretty Singer. That's dope. Are you a pretty singer, Jacoby? I feel it. I feel it. How old are you, bro? She calling me bro. The game's 80. Hey, say let's get it, bro. DOT, the money, power, respect. I am 39. Why not be married? I was close to getting married too. Whew. Yo, 80% of divorces are asked for by the women in the world. So if you are experiencing a divorce, I always like to ask, did you file for divorce or did your husband file for divorce? None of this mutual, we agreed bullshit. Somebody came to the table and was like, hey, bro. Hey, we need to get a divorce. Hey, let's get it, bro. My community. What's good, my community? Y'all gonna get your shirts right now. Marriage is a beautiful thing. You acting like it's not. The undercover poet said marriage is a beautiful thing. And I agree. I agree. Marriage can be a beautiful thing when it's done for the right reasons. A lot of people get married because of love, because of financial gain, because of security, because they don't want that person to be with anyone else. Are you doing it for the right reasons? My parents are still married to this day. And I'll tell you one reason why they were married, because while they're still married because they had a higher purpose other than themselves in the relationship. That purpose just happened to be raising me and my little brothers and sisters, my community. My community, my parents are still together because they focus on something greater than themselves. No, you should not marry for love. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. So, if you're getting married, I do think that there is beauty to be had there, but you have to do it for the right reasons. Where my homie at? Where the homie at? Oh, is that Leroy? My nigga, I was just talking about you earlier today, my dog. In my world, Marcia, what's good? One of my day ones. She here. She here. My community, yo, my guy.
Hey, wait, hold on. I'm driving, team.
Robbie, what's good?
Wait, let me hit you back.
All right, bro.
All right.
Hey, let's get it, bro. My community. Cordell, what's good? I see you. Saran Greenwich, I see you. Quaisha, see ya. Dr. ELOM look good as hell in real life. Is that someone who met me? Neek the best, I see you. Hey, let's get it, bro. Per, Piranha, Piranha? My community, what's good?
What's going on? Hold on 1 second, Doctor. Just put my earpiece on.
Yo, I can barely hear you, bro.
1 second,
Hey,
Doc. What's going on,
there he
Doctor?
goes.
How you
There he
doing there?
goes, my man, my man. Yo,
What's
tell us
up?
your name, where you from, how
My
old are you,
name,
what's good?
my name Philip Sykes, and
hmm
I'm 40 from Chicago. Man, I
hmm
appreciate that good work you putting in, man. You were very inspirational.
Oh, I appreciate you saying that, man. For me, it's chop wood and carry water. That's the vibe. I'm
Yeah,
here to
yeah,
chop wood and carry water.
yeah, man. And so I guess you talking about marriage and divorce. What's your take on marriage?
Well, I'm a little bit biased because I'm not married.
Me neither.
So
Me neither.
I
I ain't got no kids either. But yeah,
I
go
don't have
ahead.
any kids. I'm not married. I have taken the long road to success when it comes to graduating school, getting my career where I want it to be,
Right.
making sure that, I'm financially fit and emotionally fit and physically fit. It just took me a little bit longer. I'm 39 and I finally feel like I'm able to give in a way where my cup is overflowing. So I don't really have anything to gain when it comes to
Okay.
life. I feel very content. So when it comes to marriage and children, I just feel okay. So I feel like if you're going to have children, then you should do the marriage thing.
Right, right,
If you're
right. I said
not
that.
having children, what's her name? The real Miss McClendon say you should definitely marry for love. And I 100% disagree with that wholeheartedly. Because as we know, what's love got to do with it? What's love got to do with it when bills are due, when the mortgage is due, when you sign in a prenup, hopefully? What's love really got to do with it? We need to understand that marriage is a contract. Marriage is a business contract. And unless it makes sense for you in a business way, then you really shouldn't be engaging in it because you can have all the things that people love about a marriage, the commitment, the growth, the cultivation, the connectedness. You can have all of that without a paper, without the government getting involved. What do you think?
Sure, it's like it could go both ways though. Doc. But like you got a strong point there because at the end of the day, when your finances ain't right, all that love stuff will go out the window.
Real fast. Watch how fast they run out. I mean, it
Now
amazes.
that's when like you start like, especially if she don't keep it between you and her, in-laws gonna start looking at you different, start
hmm
saying things about you. Friends
hmm
gonna talk bad about you,
hmm
and it's like a no-win situation because
hmm
of the way society brings us up. Is we was already trained to be victims, so don't add no fuel to the fire.
I agree. I agree. And my parents are still married, but I guarantee you, I know from experience that I'm putting my parents' business out there a little bit, but my mom's side of the family was encouraging her to divorce my dad
Really?
because we struggled a lot growing up. We weren't financially fit growing up.
Same here.
So they were like, "Yo, go find somebody who can take care of you." But my mom, she stayed with my dad. She stuck with my dad. She said, "Fuck this. We got to raise this family. I don't care how poor we are, where we are." And that taught me the beauty of family and the beauty of commitment. And I
Yeah,
think a
and it
lot of
did.
times, go ahead.
Yeah, but I was gonna say the same scenario here before my mom died. It was like, and
Yo,
I
RIP to
love.
your mom, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was like she was the true commitment, being a person committed. Because my dad had a lot of potential, but normally I don't put my business out here, but I say he couldn't hold on to employment. So when she
Hmm.
went and asked some of the other people for money, like the in-laws and stuff like that, it was like it was a trip, man. They really talked
Hmm.
bad about him and
Hmm.
all that. So she really taught me how to really ride or die. And
Yeah.
it wasn't no
Hmm.
I guess they came from that old school level. Now
Right.
when women get with you, it's like soon things go wrong, I'm out.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing resolvable.
You know, I I want to hold space for those people who are struggling in their relationships because it is hard. It is hard, especially now when we are more equal than we were 50 years ago, men and women, right? Women
Mm-hmm.
can take care of themselves in a lot of ways that they couldn't have 50 years ago. So you're seeing the numbers reflect the independence and autonomy that women are having. And it's just is what it is. It just is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. It's just because they sell it. It's like what you see is
Mm,
you see men not getting celebrated like how they
mm-hmm,
should. All you see is
mm-hmm.
black girl magic, black girl rocks,
Yes.
black girl this, black girl that. No disrespect. I love our sisters. I love
Yeah.
our queens. But
Yeah.
sometimes, what about the boys? You got a boy there too. What about him?
Yes.
And they don't
Yeah.
say much about the boy. As long as they can buy him a fresh pair of Jordans, he'll be okay with a nice matching outfit and use it
Yeah.
for a social media prop. That's it.
Sure.
That's all. A photo op. That's it. That's all. But it's always black woman you can,
Yeah.
black woman you can. What about black boy you can?
And
Uh,
I'm gonna speak on this, and I'm
and
gonna
that
move on
and
to.
that's just not a black thing. It's a cultural thing. It's not a
I
black.
agree. I agree. I'm gonna say this last thing and move on to the next
Uh,
caller. I think that the feminist movement really empowered women to be all that they could be, right? And then the technological advancements opened up a lot of doors for women to be important members of the capitalistic society, I guess you could say. But where's the end to that? There really isn't a balance when it comes
yeah, it's
to
very
who's
imbalanced.
in power. It's like whoever's in power is going to want to remain in power. So yes, the feminist movement was important for equal rights and voting and being able to have autonomy and sovereignty in their relationships. But like you said, there's a whole generation of boys who grew up in the feminist movement and they have kind of lost themselves in their divine masculine, not really knowing where and how to survive in the feminist movement. So we need to treat everyone equally, but that's harder than it really sounds. But yo, I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming on. You got any
Uh,
last words before we move on to the next caller?
Well, I was just gonna say, keep up the good work, and then I'll be on here tuning in because I'm working now. So, yeah,
Yo,
I appreciate. I just wanted to get a word with you real quick, though. It's nice meeting you, though.
I appreciate you, Philip. I appreciate you tapping in.
All
And if you
right,
have any other comments, be sure to let us know.
all right. I got you, that Dr. Elam. You be
All right, bro.
good.
You too,
All
man.
right,
I'll talk to you.
all right.
Bye.
You in this?
My community, yo, we here. We here. Let's see what's good with this next caller. Somebody was trying to get on. I would love to join this a lot. Yes, Nazarene, let's get on it. Let's talk about it. Ando Kari, what's good? What's good? Yeah, we got another
Hi, hold on. Sorry.
caller.
Sorry, I'm gonna wear my scarf. I'm Muslim, so I'm like I
Our
supposed to wear my scarf, and
community.
I'm like,
Yo,
hi, how are
okay.
you?
Tell us your name. Where are you from? How old are you? What's up? What's up? Who are you?
Good. So my name is Nazir
Nazir
Ramadan.
Ramadan. Nice to meet
I'm
you.
from New York. Nice to meet you too. I'm from New York. Oh, I'm a little nervous. I'm from New York. I'm in college. This is my undergrad. I'm a
Okay.
psychology major and a minor in African
Okay.
American studies. You know,
Sure.
diversify
Sure.
a bit. I am Muslim, so I do have a psychology. I will look through things through psychology lens and a Islamic perspective
Okay.
on certain topics. And I came across you because I saw you. I think I think it was a video
Sure.
that you got
Yeah.
popular from. So I just followed you. So I was like, let me hear more insights into your knowledge, especially
Yeah.
you are a doctor. So I definitely want to hear your perspective and information, and through your also
Sure.
life experience
Okay.
that you have intake. So
I
about marriage and
I have
divorce.
two
So
questions for you, and I want you to continue to ask these questions even when we get off this live. The first question is, what do you want? The second question is, where did you learn that?
mhm. So in what do I want in
Yeah.
marriage?
What do you want for yourself out of
Okay.
relationships and marriage and commitment? And then ask yourself, who taught you that?
Yeah. I would say what I've want have changed
Mm-hmm.
over the years, um, based on experience and knowledge that I've learned through psychology and African American history too. So I would say that I'm trying to break this cycle in my culture because I am Arab and African,
Okay.
North African. So I'm learning my boundaries and what do I tolerate and what I don't tolerate in a partner, and that can be in marriage, friendship, any
Mm-hmm.
relationship in general. And learning myself is that I am very valuable. So I'm very highly empathetic person and overachiever. So I need to be very careful who I come across to or who I give my
Mm-hmm.
energy to. So what I want is someone that can value me as well. I'm valuing that person as well. So it's like it's
Okay.
reciprocating. That's what I can say.
No, this
I forgot the second
say
question though.
okay, so you said you wanted reciprocation and you want your it seems like you want your gratitude of value to be reciprocated and you want your commitment to be reciprocated. Now my second
Yes.
question is, where did you learn that?
I learned that through again. So I learned that through life experience,
Mm-hmm.
seeing my parents' marriage, seeing what I can
Mm-hmm.
tolerate, what I don't tolerate, and I started not saying silent about certain things, especially in my Arab culture. They're just women tend to be silent about
Mm-hmm.
certain abusive behavior, narcissistic behavior as well. I'm not a psychologist yet, so I can't diagnose them with NPD, but I can say that I'm being more self-aware of
Mm-hmm.
certain traits. So what I want is someone that can be more emotionally
Mm-hmm.
intelligent, someone that can share the same
Mm-hmm.
spirituality as me, someone that's physically attractive. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's definitely important. Someone that's also intellectual. When I say intellectual, meaning like we
Mm-hmm.
share the same values intellectually and we have insights in those and we
Mm-hmm.
challenge each other. So not a yes man or a
Mm-hmm.
yes woman. And respect at the same time. So I think those are something important. There's more to know. I don't know that much, but
No,
this so far this is what I
this is
got.
good. This is good because what you're going to be able to do with these goals is you're going to be able to deconstruct your boundaries around what you will and will not accept moving forward. So it sounds like on the first date, some good questions for you to ask would be like, have you been to therapy? What's your relationship like with your
Yes.
parents? What's your relationship like with your closest best friends? What would you do in a high anxious situation? How do you handle stress? These are all good questions to be able to answer immediately. That way, you know, without wasting too much of your time, if this person is worth more of your investment. Because based on those answers, you're going to be able to identify immediately what this person has been through, what they've had to work through, and how they've had to handle it. Now, this is all good and well because what if you're not not attracted to that person? What if you're not physically attracted to that? I don't care how much therapy he's been through, how much work he's put in, how great he can hold space and is empathetic. If you're not physically attracted, then it might not work. And this is what I think we're finding the problem in the dating community is that a lot of times those things don't match. Pretty privilege is a real thing.
Yeah.
I think that people who
Yeah.
don't have to do the work because they're given everything in life usually don't do the work. It took
Hmm.
me a long time to get to a place where I said, yo, I actually need it. Actually, it wasn't even me. I'm going to give you a little bit of information. It was my ex girlfriend. She found and recommended the therapist that eventually helped us break up. She said, I need to go to therapy. You need to work on yourself. I'm tired of this. And I was like, yo, you know what? You're right. There's something that's not working here. I'm starting to see patterns in my own life that I don't like. Maybe I need to start to do some digging in my childhood healing, start to do some wound clearing, start to rearrange some of my agreements and my relationships. All those things took time. So the
Hmm.
question you need to ask yourself is, are you willing to work with someone to get to that point? Or are you looking for someone who's already made?
Mm. Maybe a little bit of both, I guess. I think someone that's even ready made, there's no such thing of perfection. This is my
Mhm,
perspective right now. Maybe it could change over time, but I feel like there's no such thing of
mhm.
perfection. So someone who's already, this idea of someone who's already made, I think there's always still room for improvements and challenging each other through our certain toxic traits, because I think everyone holds a toxic trait, and being with someone that can call you out for it in a respectful manner, it's very important and it's vital. I definitely, that's what I think. So someone that is made, not necessarily, maybe someone that is willing to reflect and grow with me, and willing to invest in me
I
as
love
well. I
that.
am.
Felicia Emotioniqua said this, it's interesting when someone says, I want someone more emotionally intelligent. So should that person be okay dating someone less emotionally intelligent than them? Now, you're a psych major. You know what time it is when it comes to Freud's law, the
Yeah.
attachment, codependence, all these things that make dating and relating challenging. How now you have to
Yeah.
ask yourself, how much space are you willing to hold to help someone grow? Because I'll be honest, before my last recent ex, I didn't feel comfortable being emotionally open and vulnerable with the women in my life, and it was her who held the space for me, guided me towards the type of therapy that I did. She, was patient with me when I got anxious or angry. Are you willing to do that? Because I don't think most women are. And I was a psych major, so I know what time it is. This shit is not easy. Actually,
Period.
psychologists
Not.
psychologists are the ones that need the most therapy because they think they know everything already. So,
No, I definitely understand that. With again, so I'm still undergrad with this. I definitely am shooting for my
sure.
doctorate degree. But what I can say with emotional intelligence, I feel like that's
Mhm,
learned through life, and that's learned through
mhm.
educating yourself more. And it's learned and knowing, I feel like knowing yourself more, you become more emotionally intelligent. So I would say it's not someone that's fully emotionally intelligent, but someone that's willing to want to learn. Because that's the kind of person I am. I'm willing to critically think. I'm willing to challenge. I need a critical thinker as well. I need someone that can challenge himself, challenge the society, because and someone that can lead too. Because again, I do have a Islamic perspective, and I believe a man should lead, but having me guiding him to lead as well. So again, everything's a learning process, and we're gonna learn
I
until we
agree.
die. So that's I'm willing to learn with that partner
So you
and willing
said,
to invest if that's
and
the
I'm
right person.
100% agree with you, and I'm proud of you for this perspective. I think it's very important that you have this at a young age. Now, my next question to you is: you say you're Muslim, right? Would you be
Yeah.
comfortable having sister wives?
No, 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 no. So, and that's the thing with I recognize that people have this
Hmm.
wrong perception of Islam,
Hmm.
especially in our society, what's going on today
Hmm.
in this world. Um, but and people usually mix their culture, like I'll say my air culture with my religion, and I like to separate them. I also like to separate myself as an individual with my community, because my community, we don't all share the same perspective, and I'm not saying that person is wrong, and I'm not
Hmm.
saying that person is right. But I know what's I'm
Hmm.
comfortable with, and a man that's willing to have four wives has to be able to treat them all equally, and that's not easy. A man can barely handle one, so if they can handle four, I mean, hey, you got it. If you can be emotionally intelligent for all four, and give them all houses and they take care of them, man, you got it. You
What
about to be a
about,
king or something. But that's
it's
very
very
rare.
rare, but what about, you heard of girl dads, right? The guy who has a wife and then he's got a bunch of daughters. You don't think he's handling
Mhm.
the emotions of multiple women at a time? He's not a king, he's not a superhero. We shouldn't be celebrating him. Why can't we celebrate
Oh,
in
most definitely,
in
most
that same way?
definitely.
Why can't we celebrate the girl dads in the same way we celebrate men's with multiple wives? Because And
Definitely, yeah.
why do we have to put all of the responsibility on the man to handle all of their emotions? No, if okay, so I'm the one who said I want two girlfriends, right? I'm gonna commit, I'm gonna make it work. I can handle it. I've been through the fire. I was born in this. Y'all just live here. I can do it.
Hey, okay.
But
I mean,
it
also,
is
hmm
the responsibility of all three of us to come to the table with some emotional work. Having done some
hmm
emotional work. It is not the man's job to handle the women in their lives. That is unfair to the work that the women have done. At what point
hmm
should the women start to take responsibility for their own emotions and how they respond to those emotions?
Well, I would say this, I'm still learning, but what I would say is if a man is willing to have four wives, right? Again, he has to there's for Islam there is responsibility. So we do have a contract called medhead where it's like protection for the woman. So let's say if it comes to divorce, he should provide her certain things. Again, it depends on the circumstance as well. If that person has a child, who's it, how much money to give, protection home for that child, all that comes across. It's just protecting the woman because again, a man can always remarry and build his life, but a woman, we are stuck with the child and all that. So it's definitely like a protection. So what I would say, if you're willing to have multiple wives and take on that responsibility, and that's more than just emotional, it's financial as well, then hey, all praise to you. But if you
Hold
can't
up,
even
hold up, hold
do all
up, hold
that,
up, hold up,
then
hold up.
yeah.
So in my reality, the women in my life, they're not going to be 100% financially dependent on me either. Do you want to be 100%
Mhm.
dependent on your husband financially?
What I would say is I would definitely have
Mhm.
in Islam is I have my money and my money is my money and his money is my money. So that being said is
Is that
him
fair?
taking
Is
care of.
that fair?
It's fair enough when I say where he's been with a good woman. A good woman would treat him his money very in a smart way, not like taking advantage of him, but more like, hey, I need this money to help you. So, like, for example,
Why can't
let's take
our
the role of
money be
taking care
our
of the
money?
house because our money could no our money could be our money, but
I'm
what
saying
I'm
my
saying is
money
that
is
he
your
can
money
take
and
we can
your
both.
money is my money.
No, because my money is my, just in case something happened to
If
him, I have my money to
something
protect me.
happens to
I
me,
need my money
if
to
something happens,
protect.
let's say you and I are going to get married. If something happens to me, trust believe I got a life insurance policy that's going to take care of you and the kids.
And that's
So
good. And that's very
you
good.
want
That's
my life
actually good.
insurance money and you want your side money?
Definitely. I 100%. I deserve it. A woman is very in Islam. A woman is highly valued. It's like, and that's crazy how the Western side don't see that. It's like we're so protected, and it's like amazing how much protection and laws there is to protect a woman. And I just think that's very beautiful. But we can have agree and disagree. But yes, definitely, my money. It's my money, and if something ever happened to him, because if so, again, he's my partner, I will love him. And if something, let's say he lost his job, hey, babe, I have my money. We can take care. I got you. And that's the kindness of my heart. So that's why I know it's very different with the West
What if
society
he
how they
cheats
see
on
it.
you?
Oh, and that's good. So I can ask for. There's a
Uh-huh.
process when someone's cheat on you. With you go to the. We have. You guys have a priest or something. We
Uh-huh.
have the shift, and those discussion. If he can't redeem himself and doesn't want to change his behavior, then I will file divorce because divorce is taken very serious and not lightly. And those divorce process, he has to give what our contract was hold. So whatever finance he has to give that we both agreed upon, and then I'm taken care of. And I'm not saying my money is my money because some women don't want to work, so or don't want to have their own income, and that's totally fine. I'm not
All
judging.
right.
So definitely having that protection for her, just in case if the divorce ever happened or he passed away or something ever. Never know what life happens, but it's just a
Okay.
protection for her,
Well,
and she
what
has
if
kids.
what if-
But again, we
what
can
if what
agree or
if you
disagree.
die?
Oh
Yeah.
my God, what if I
What's
die?
gonna happen to
Then
me then?
what
What's
if
gonna
I
happen to
die?
all that money that you
Sorry.
hid away?
What if I die? I'll definitely have my contract. I would definitely have a contract. Let's say I have kids. I would definitely give my
So you're
money
not
to my kids.
gonna help
I
your
would definitely
husband
give
out?
money. Definitely, if he needs my money or something
What do
like
we
that, of
got
course.
to
But
do
that's
to
that's a
get
conversation
actual
we need to have.
equality? Why? Okay, let me ask you this. You're telling me this, right?
Mm,
I'm a man.
yeah,
I got, my own money, right? And I fall in
yeah,
love with you, right? Why would I
yeah.
marry you?
Why would you
Right.
marry me? Because I hold
What
value in your life. I feel like a woman.
okay.
I think that's something with society doesn't show
What
that women we're very
what what
highly
what
valued, and
is
it's
your
like
value?
we
Okay,
we
okay.
reproduce. Men need
I
us
will
because
give you
we
that.
reproduce.
I will give you that.
Um, Again, I don't have all this knowledge right
No,
now because I'm still
this
like
is good.
learning.
This
So
is
I'm
how we
looking
learn.
more
This
to
is how
start
we learn.
practicing.
Hopefully, you never forget this
Yeah.
conversation.
So
And
for these
hopefully, you
men,
never forget this conversation. And the next time you find somebody who you might want to marry, you'll be able to come straight to the table like, yo, dog, this is what I bring to the table. So
period.
you will be an
Yeah.
amazing mother.
Inshallah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else?
But definitely what I was on top of my head is again, so definitely reproducing,
Okay.
definitely nurturing. I think as a woman, we are very into our emotions. So I'm not saying men can't, but men definitely have to put
Mm-hmm.
that work to get in their emotions. But we're very nurturing. So I definitely when he comes home for a long day or is stressed or something, I will definitely be his peace. And I hope he can also be my
Mm-hmm.
peace as well. Another thing that I can hold on the table is um what was it? Well, sorry, my head. I don't know. Definitely. That's also the roles I take. So let's say if he wants to work
Mm-hmm.
like more than me or something like that, I'll let him have it. Because listen, I'm a woman. I'm sorry. I can do it. I'm not saying I can't do it, but I would love a man that would take more the hard working
Mm-hmm.
responsibility. It just makes my life much easier. But if he can or something like that, that's something we can talk about because everyone's different. But I can say is I can definitely keep the house clean. I can definitely keep the house warm. I can definitely give him an open space to go to, someone to confine to. And not just that, he's having a beautiful woman by his side. That just hold him status and his value. So I definitely he should see that as
Mm-hmm.
a treasure. I see myself as a pearl, something that's unique. If you lose it, you lose it. You can't find another beautiful pearl. You can find another one, but not that exact one. So it's like that. I give him status as well as him giving me
Okay.
status. So it just goes both ways. That's what I got top of my head.
Nazarene, you sound real good. You sound real good right now. Sounding real good.
I'm still learning.
You make
I'm only 20. I'm only 20,
you
so I'm
making this
still.
marriage thing sound real good, but as you go along your journey, I want you to remember, especially as we continue to advance in this technological age, that men, especially men with my the type of men that you want to be with, they can outsource a lot of things. I
Mhm.
I'm not married. I don't have any kids, right? So coming to me with a marriage proposal is very challenging because I don't need you to be an amazing mother. Even if you are an amazing mother, that's great. I don't
Mhm.
need to marry you.
Mhm.
And a lot of men, and you're seeing it in the numbers now, are a lot of men are outsourcing this intimacy with all, all kinds of things. And so
Mhm.
as you continue to court and as you continue to look for your husband, be very specific in what this man needs outside of sex, outside of a chef, outside of even just somebody who makes them feel good. Because men
Yeah.
are finding now that risking their financial freedom for those things is not necessarily where they want to go. Chris Coco said,
Yeah. It's definitely an
say again.
investment. It's definitely an investment. So it's like every investment is risky. So is it the risk that you want to take or is it not? And that's something that's very hard. It's a life decision. So, but I love this conversation.
Yes,
I do
thank
gotta
you.
go,
Thank you
but I
so much for
appreciate
your
your
time.
insights.
I wish you the best of luck and hold it down for all the psychologists out there.
Thank you.
All right, have a good day. My community. Ooh, ooh. Mm. I need to take a break after that one. That was real. She making marriage sound like the best thing since sliced bread when divorce rates are 60+%. I feel it though. The last question I was going to ask her, I didn't get a chance to ask, was is marriage more beneficial for men or women? I don't know. Y'all let me know. Is marriage more beneficial for men or for women? We know divorce. Divorce is good for whoever's gonna. Yo, speaking of divorce, what's good, man? Yo, tell us your name, where you from, what's good?
Hey, how you doing, Dr. Elum? My name is Darrell Holt. I'm an attorney. I'm a military brat, so I'm kind of from all over. I claim residence in Houston and Corpus Christi now.
Darrell. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, me and Darrell go way, way back. Watching him now as a lawyer, it's warming my heart, man. It's fucking warming my heart right now, dog. I'm so proud of you and how far you've come, what you've done with your life, and what you made of yourself. Thank you for holding it down for all the black boys out there. What's good? What's good? Now, yes, Morehouse is in the house. My question to you, dog, is marriage worth it? Is it worth
Well,
it?
the thing is that,
Natasha
you know,
Rubaru say, is he single? He wants to. Tasha, one of my day ones. What's good? Okay. Serious time. Serious time. Let us know.
this topic has become very popular, and so it's good that we're having these conversations finally, right?
Yeah.
I think for the most part, we can thank social media for that because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of conversations were just, father to son, mother to daughter, private,
Mm-hmm.
without a whole lot of objective uh, views in
Mm-hmm.
the conversation, right? And so the first thing I'd want to do, if I'm going to touch on the subject, is I want to kind of give a foundation for how attorneys think, right?
Yeah.
Uh, running with
Yo. Can you fix your audio for a second? I don't know if you're on. Um, are you on headphones or speakers? Your audio is kind of coming in and out.
is it working better now?
Let me
Do I need
see.
to get some headphones?
How is it now?
I mean, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was going to say is if you don't have friends or family that are attorneys, a lot of times they don't really understand how we think.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we get a reputation for being assholes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the reason for that is because we are very logical. We're very straight to the point. And the reason why we have to be like that is that any person who's passionate about being an attorney is going to take that role very seriously. And so if I give you advice, one, it has to be completely objective,
Mm-hmm.
and two, it has to be advice that's going to yield the best results for you because you view every interaction with other human beings as
Mm-hmm.
a potential new client interaction, whether it's
Right.
family, it's friends, whatever the interaction is, you view those interactions that this could be a potential client, right?
Right.
So I want to give you advice that will help you avoid pitfalls in the future, which also in turn makes my job easier if I do have to intervene and help you deal with certain circumstances that
Right.
come your way, right? So that's the first thing. So everything we say is objective, and I'm trying to get you the best
Right.
results, okay? Uh,
Right.
a little bit of personal background about me. I was a person who had a child when I was in college,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I was very young, so I've experienced having a child thing. I married the mother of my children, so I've experienced marriage. I've also experienced divorce, right?
Mm-hmm.
I came from a family where I had two independently wealthy parents who married and were married for 25 years who also got divorced, right? And so my personal background on top of my legal background gives me a dearth of information about the
So
subject,
you've
right?
seen it on all sides. You've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. It doesn't matter if you got money, if you're poor. You've seen it.
In a courtroom, in a mediation, I've seen everything, right? So the way I want to broach the subject is that everything you confront in life, you need to look at it from two perspectives, right? You have the macroscopic perspective, and then you have the microscopic, right? So the macroscopic, the big picture, the microscopic is the personal perspective. Okay, so we're going to start with the macroscopic. The macroscopic is the purpose for marriage has not changed at all. And that's a common misconception. Okay, the purpose of marriage is mutual survival, right? So the only reason to have a legal license, contractual marriage is so that you can survive together as a unit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the legal part. All the, religion and everything is fine, but marriage is a legal contract. It's a contractual agreement to spend the rest of your life with someone, right? Now, once you make this agreement, you rely on each other, right? I need you, I need to need you, and you need to need me. And so what has happened with modern day marriage is that the purpose has not changed. The purpose has just been frustrated, right? Because look at these marriages of our parents and our grandparents and 40-year marriages and all that. Well, what was the social climate at the time?
Yeah.
A lot of times women could not earn the same income as men, right?
Right.
And so you had to attach yourself to a hardworking, committed, and reliable man to survive.
Yeah.
If you were out on your own, you didn't have income, you didn't have anything, right? And now women make just as much, if not more, than men, right? So the need for mutual survival has pretty much gone out the window. And so now
Yeah.
you see, I make 100,000, you make 100,000. We really don't need each other, right? So now this mutual survival concept, which is the real premise behind a marriage, is gone. And that's the issue we're seeing.
Yeah. I didn't even think about it like that. Marriage is, we need to need each other. And I always think back to my parents. I like to give my parents that as an example, because people always asking me, oh, you don't like marriage and blah, blah, blah. You single, your parents must be, my parents have been married for almost 40 years, but it didn't occur to me until just right now that they needed each other.
Absolutely.
They
Absolutely.
need, and they still continue to need each other, and that need, like you said, is diminished with the affluence of everyone. Really, everybody's got a bag now.
And, and the even funnier thing about it is that if you actually do the research, you'll find people who are both poor are more likely to stay married than people who are independently wealthy. Why? Because they can afford a divorce. They can afford to lose a house and buy another house. They can afford to separate assets and move on with their lives. Whereas poor people are like, hey, if one of us leaves here, the lights are getting cut off, right?
Sure.
Or,
Yeah.
I can't keep the house, you can't keep the house,
Right.
And so the need for your partner is absolutely essential. And it's the reason why people are so free to get divorced now, because they're like, hey, I make my own money, I'll move on. Hey, I get the house, you get the house, whatever.
Right.
See you later. And so and that's what we're seeing today.
So my question to you is, and I'm sure everyone wants to ask, is what's love got to do with it?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Oh,
It,
no.
it's great for movies,
Yeah.
but and like I said, as an attorney, we have to be objective
Right.
and logical. The truth
Right.
is, name any other contract in your life that has anything to do with your emotions.
Yeah.
Right? If you were going to do a business contract, you're going to purchase a home, you name it. What purpose does your emotions play in a contractual agreement?
Right.
None. Right? And marriage is a contract just like any other one, and it's probably one of the most binding and potentially devastating contracts you can agree to.
Yeah, it's the only contract that I know of where it's death till us part.
Right. And then it's death do us part unless I change my mind.
Unless I change my mind, right? And we're
So,
seeing, I think the numbers like 80% of all divorce cases are filed by the woman in the relationship. Why is this?
so and that goes now. So now we're on the microscopic perspective, right? The
Okay.
individual experience of marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
The truth is, the facts are the facts. Women file the overwhelming majority of divorces, right? And the data supports that there is a clear and distinct gender bias once this hits the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gender bias as far as the custody of the children,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a clear gender bias as far as how those assets will be distributed.
Yeah. Why? Okay. And this blows my mind because under the assumption that men wrote these laws, right? Why did men write laws that are so unadvantageous to men? Where did we go wrong?
Well, and I'll be the first to tell you, this would be more of a personal opinion
Okay.
than an actual like legal basis because it is confusing to me as well.
Sure.
I think I don't think they forecasted all the things that were going to change when these laws were written, right? I don't
Mm-hmm.
think when these laws were written, women weren't independently wealthy for the most part. They weren't.
Right.
They already knew the need was there, the purpose is there. So the laws are pretty much, objective and helpful to the people in those situations,
Sure.
right? The problem is now society has completely changed since these laws were drafted, and these laws have not been amended in any way, for the most
Mm-hmm.
part, and so
So,
now, oh,
okay.
go ahead.
Well, Shay Watch, I got a comment says that that's why prenups are in place, and I'm like, didn't Iman Shumpert have a prenup? Didn't Tyrese have a prenup? It seems like prenups are just there to appease, because at the end of the day, you can fight a prenup, which is going to have your lawyer fees through the roof by the time you get done. Talk to us about the power of prenups and postnups.
So the thing is, a prenup, in my humble opinion, and in the experience I've had in family law, it's
Uh-huh.
just a false sense of security. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
the truth is that things like a disparity of education, right, a disparity of income, uh, one person having legal advice versus another not having legal advice. All of these things, uh, domestic abuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Infidelity. All of these things are things that could wipe that prenup out, right? Or something as
Mm-hmm.
simple as I was under duress, I was pregnant, and I knew that I'd be homeless if I didn't agree to this prenuptial agreement, but
Uh-huh.
I was under duress, so it's not fair to hold me to this agreement. And now we're right back at square one.
So you're saying that in the courtroom, women are fighting these prenups based off of maybe emotional duress or lack of X, Y,
Of
and Z, and the
course,
courts are amending
of
the
course,
prenups?
absolutely. Well, or just saying the prenups are invalid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that relationships have up and downs,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody can predict what's going to happen 10 years from now, even if we try,
Mm-hmm.
right? And anything that's extremely unforeseeable can be grounds for saying that prenup is null and void. So the
Mm-hmm.
prenup thing, it makes you feel good. You want,
Mm-hmm.
if you do get a prenup, you want to make sure both people have independent counsel to review the prenup. But my honest perspective is, why subject yourself to that?
Mm-hmm.
that's, that's, a,
Right,
that's a lot of
right,
risk. That's a
right.
lot of risk, hoping that this protects you from basically destroying your life potentially.
Yeah, yeah. So, what advice do you have for people who are thinking about getting married, want to get married, feel like they need to get married? What are some things that people need from each other? Because it's starting to sound like we don't really need each other anymore, but I know that's not true.
Well, some of us still need each other, right?
Yeah.
Um, So what my advice would be, if you absolutely need this person and this person needs you, then try your hand at it. But at the end of the day, all of the benefits that come with marriage are benefits that you can enjoy without marriage. If you want to put
Mm-hmm.
somebody on your life insurance, you can. If you want to give a person power of attorney over medical decisions for you, you
Sure,
can.
sure.
There's none of these require you being married.
What about getting a tax break? Can you get a tax break in some way without getting married?
Now, you can get tax breaks, but
How?
at the same time, if you're high income earners, sometimes it's more beneficial to file separately anyway, even if you are married. And I
Interesting.
see, and the wealthy people I know, that's how they file their taxes anyway. And so
Interesting.
the
So
tax break that you may get is in in my opinion is not worth the risk associated with everything else that comes with marriage. You're trying to get a tax break and you're
wait,
willing
wait,
to,
wait. Are you telling me that you can be married and file separately?
yeah, you can be married filing separate. That's how
I
my
didn't even
parents
know that.
filed. That's how my dad still files with his new wife. Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
yeah.
So the tax break, that's not really where it's
It's
not worth the risk, is what you're saying.
basically it's like most of the benefits they say are associated. Like you can raise your kids in the same house. You can raise your kids in the same house if you're not
Right.
married.
Right, right.
You know.
Wait, so you said that you can give someone power of attorney. What are name some of the other things again that you can do without having to be married that are beneficial?
Oh, like life insurance, right?
Uh,
You can
uh,
establish a life insurance policy, and you can put
hmm
the beneficiary to be whoever you want it to be, right? If you want to devise, real property, right? You put it in your will. You
Sure.
say, hey, I want it to go to this person. It doesn't require that person be your wife. You can just say,
Mm.
hey, I want this to go here. I want this to go there. I want this to go to these people. All of these things are things you can do that don't have anything to do with you being married.
Interesting. I had no idea. This is actually really informative because what my lawyer says, marriage is for people who believe in God. You
Yeah.
know, you got me there. I
And,
can't really.
and Brenda's actually a very close friend of mine,
Okay.
and I agree. I agree. I actually had discussed your show with her, and she's a family law expert, you know,
Okay.
um, and I 100% agree. That it's hey, I believe in God, and God tells me, and I based on the religious practices I subscribe to, that
hmm
my marriage must be a legal contractual
hmm
marriage, right? Because
hmm
even then, there's some ambiguity as
hmm
far as what qualifies as a marriage, even based on like the Christian faith, right?
Sure.
So
That's gonna be my next question. Does it say in the Bible that we should get the government involved in our marriage? I didn't read
from
the
what I
Bible.
know now, I'm not a theologian. However, I haven't seen that, right? And I grew up in the church. I have to debate these scriptures all the time because, the unfortunate thing around this topic specifically is people are so emotional is that we
Right.
attach ourselves to these verses, and we also attach our personal opinion and
Right.
bias to how we want to
Right.
attribute the verse to
So
our
then,
lives.
what's God got to do with it then? Why are we bringing God into this?
Now, now as far as the union and declaring that this is my wife,
Uh huh.
I understand that religious perspective.
Sure.
But the
Sure.
moment you go down there to get a marriage license
Right.
and to do all those things, well, now I don't see where the connection to God is involved at all.
Because I'm cool with the ceremony. I'm cool with taking the trip. Let's do a honeymoon. Let's even if you want to do the kids, we can do the kids. But signing over your all the hard work that I spent now is automatically yours if you want it. And I just got off the call with old girl, and she was like, "Her money is her money. My money is her money." And I'm like, "How am I supposed to? Why? How? Why? I don't get it."
Yeah, to be honest with you, I made some notes during that
hmm
conversation. I was highly surprised and fascinated with that response because I guess that shows how little I know about the Islamic faith, right?
Sure.
Because I did not know that, and it, I kind of had a certain perspective that was kind of turned inside out based on
Right.
her statements.
Right. Right. Now, okay, Brenda said, depending on the state you get in, you live in Texas where they have common law
That's
marriage.
correct.
Now, there are people living throughout the United States, and different states offer different laws. Talk to us about common law marriage and how that can take effect when somebody wants to come for your bag.
So usually with common law marriage, it requires that you cohabitate, right? It's usually a period of time.
Hmm.
Um, and it also requires that you kind of hold out to the public that you're married,
Okay.
right? So you explain, this is my wife,
Hmm.
this is my son, my daughter, and you continue to cohabitate for the prescribed period of time, and then in the law's eyes, you're technically married, right?
Sure.
But at the same time, you still have to assert those rights for it to actually come into play. If you decide, hey, I'm moving out of the house,
Yeah.
it's not like a common law process where you have to file. But let's say if someone says, hey, I've been investing in this house all this time. No, I don't want to just move out of the house. Well, now you file an action, and then that's when all those things start to kick in.
So it sounds to me like the marriage contract itself is just a platform to be able to negotiate resources.
I have to disagree.
Okay.
And the only reason why I say that is because the negotiation is not complete until you're divorced, right? So we may
Oh.
negotiate
Oh.
resources, right?
Uh-huh.
But then once the divorce comes into play, and then you bring up infidelity, domestic abuse,
Mm-hmm.
abandonment,
Mm-hmm.
disparity of education and income, all
Mm-hmm.
these other factors,
Mm-hmm.
that negotiation may be amended, and so
Sure.
I think it's just like, let's say if you have real property, right?
Yeah.
You can purchase a home with
Mm-hmm.
your companion. You don't
Mm.
have to be married.
Right. Right. So
You can
Brenda
buy a
says
house
that
together.
you're absolutely okay. So Brenda says the things that you had before marriage will continue to be yours. What about Iman Shumpert? I feel like
Oh,
he's losing more than he walked in the marriage with. I don't know why. Even if he does get to keep the stuff that he had before, why do I feel like he is losing
now,
more than talk to us about how we can prevent ourselves from going down that rabbit hole?
now,
Because
now, I'm going to be the first to tell you, and hopefully she's open to it. I want you to bring Brenda in on this, but I also want her perspective because, you know, I'm not. I practice more so criminal and personal injury.
sure,
I've dealt with family matters, but the Amon Trumper thing blows my mind, even
right,
as an attorney. Like, how, the fact that she maintained 100% of her business, the fact that she maintained their most valuable assets, even though she earns a higher income than him now.
right,
The fact that you know he had to give her, like I think it was like $1 million or something like that. I don't know the specifics. I don't know what happened there.
how because honestly, I want to just share with the community how we can prevent something like that happening, because that's a mentality thing. If more people knew that they were more susceptible to losing everything, even if they had everything, what are we supposed to do? How can something like that be prevented?
Well, see, and that's why you know my legal advice is to, especially people who are, middle to high income earners, right? You're somewhere around 60, 70,000 a year. And this is for male and females, right?
Right.
If you're earning money to where you're pretty much independently stable, I don't see the incentive because, basically how marriage is supposed to work from my perspective is that
Hmm.
you enter into this contract because you've established some sort of permanence with another person, right?
Right.
Uh, but we all know, I mean, we know the marriage rates, the divorce rates, and
Hmm.
we know that, so what you were leveraging doesn't really exist, so then, because that's the case, what are you doing?
Right.
And in a lot of ways, especially if you have a clear disparity in income and education,
Hmm.
it's it's like the worst contract you could ever sign. Like what it's like, it's extreme high risk,
Right.
extremely high risk and
Hmm.
extremely low yield.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
and that's that's the part where, I just think that our modern day relationships have evolved to a point where the purpose of marriage doesn't really exist. It's more so a thing we do based on emotion, right? And which is the primary concern, because it's the only contract in your life that you would ever consider purely on emotional beliefs or spiritual beliefs, right? Every other, if you buy a house, you're going to want to know the history of the home, what the property value has been, how the property value has fluctuated throughout the market. You're going to want to know, what kind of neighborhood is this? What city is this?
Right.
What is the projection for where this neighborhood can go? The home I'm sitting in, I drove up today. I've been out of town for a few weeks, and now I see they're building like a new neighborhood, right? All of those things are things that you think about, and none of it has to do with just feeling good or just being happy, right? And so, or when you buy a car, what type of accidents has it been in? How has it been maintained? What year is it? What is the reputation of this make and model, right? All of those, we think about those things automatically when we enter into any other contract, credit cards, home purchases, car purchases, business investments. We think about all those things, right? But when you look at marriage, we kind of just throw it out the window. We just, hey, I love you, you love me, fuck it, basically. Yeah, let's go. That's just what it really comes down to. It's just like, hey, if she doesn't have this, or you don't have that, or he doesn't have this, like, hey, like nobody cares. It's just like, hey, I love you. This is what we're supposed to do. And I don't think you can approach any contract that way, let alone marriage.
You're absolutely right, and I think that asking the question why is very important. But like you said, we just say fuck it. So, and you may have alluded to this earlier when you talked about needing to need each other, but in the marriages that you've seen work, what is the good of it? How can it work? How can we continue? Because people are still going to get married, right? People are still going to say, I love this person, I'm going to have kids with them, fuck it, let's get married. What are some tools that you can provide with the community where it's like, yo, if you do these things, then you have a higher chance of a successful marriage?
Well, I would have to say, for the marriages that I have seen work, right, even, the wealthier marriages, or even, people that are kind of, lower income marriages, the first thing is they combine their resources, right? To me, that's a non-negotiable. Okay.
Sure.
So if you enter into a marriage and you're like, hey, well, my money's my money, or even the man, my money's my money, the woman, my money's my. If you enter into it like that, you're destined to fail, right? Because life is not, life changes constantly, and you never know when something's going to happen, and that's going to build resentment. Let's say, I lose my job, right, and I don't really recover, and I see that you got your money. You're like, hey, my money's my money. We already agreed to that, and I'm over here kind of struggling. I'm feeling insecure about where I'm at now, but we've already developed the mindset that we have individual finances. Then we can't bridge that gap, right? Or if you make purchases, let's say you have separate income, and then I say, hey man, I want a Lamborghini, I don't care, right? And then you're like, well, we need to take care of the house. I'm like, oh well, right? Because I'm looking at it, this is my money, so this is what I want to do with it, Or you want to take a nice trip, but my money's spent on something else, And so I would say one of the most significant factors is that you have to combine your income, and it has to be, a team thing, right? There's no, my money's here, your money, all of that has to go out the way. I think that's like the first requirement, right? If you're not willing to do that, then date each other, hang out for the next 20 years, have kids even if you want to, and be best friends, right? But why get a marriage license if you don't even want to combine your resources?
Damn.
Which is usually a big one, especially for modern day people. That's like one of the biggest impediments is like, hey, I don't trust you enough to share my money with you, or vice versa. If you're not willing to do that, then to just let it go.
Right.
You know, be cool,
Right.
and you can still be back. You can hang out. You can live together if you want.
Right.
And your money's where it's at, and
Right.
her money's where it's at, and then whatever. You know.
Right.
But I would say that's probably the main thing is
Mm-hmm.
that you have to combine income and you have to look at it that this is team money. This is our, our what do
Mm-hmm.
they call it in the NBA? What do they call it?
Uh, the
Like your money for your all your players. I'm drawing a blank now. What
oh
is that?
the
That's
I forgot. I know what you're talking about though.
yeah. Yeah. Basically, this is our team
Right.
budget. This is how we're going to allocate it this year and 5 years from now and 10 years from now and 20 years from now. And it's ours. It's
Right.
not yours, it's not mine.
Right. So
Cap space. There we go. It's
cap.
cap space. We
So
got
I had a comment in there by the Games 88. She said the men has to
salary
lead.
cap. There we go. That helps too. Yeah, go ahead.
So, yeah, salary cap. What is this? When you hear women say, "I need the men to lead." What if a woman come to me? I need the men to lead, but my money is my money, and your money is your money. But I need you to lead this family. What does that do to a marriage, and can that work?
Well, to address that question, I'm going to be probably more objective than most people would expect.
Sure.
Now, in my personal beliefs, I do think a man should lead. However, that's not the only version of marriage that can work, and that I've seen work, right?
Okay.
So, what it comes down to is there has to be a leader, right?
Yeah.
Period. That's non-negotiable as well, right?
Yeah.
That's just as important as combining your resources. There's an understanding that someone's the leader and someone is submitting to that leadership, right? Because
Sure.
you have women who are multimillionaires and they get with men who aren't, right?
Right.
And that does not mean that the man has to walk around. A man may not have the financial acumen to manage her resources anyway, right? That's highly possible.
Sure.
If I've only made $30,000 a year my whole life and you're worth $50 million, and I walk up and say, hey, because I'm a man, I'm just going to tell you how we're going to do this and do that.
Right.
I might lead us to financial ruin,
Right.
right? I don't understand how to
Right.
manage this thing. And so, like I said, I'm always going to be objective,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so it has to be a clear leader, and that has to be non-negotiable. So if it's the
Sure.
man, hey, he's the leader. At the end of the day, that's where the final say is. Or if the woman is the higher earner and the more stable, more financially adept person, she's the leader, right? And because you see people who deal with men who are submissive, right? That is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And those relationships can work sometimes, if that's the type of relationship you want.
How is it possible for a man to lead without being the financial leader as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How? How does that work?
Well, I would just say it comes down to structure, right? So
Okay.
the man, now, you can't, do I think that a man who makes $12 an hour can lead a woman who makes $200,000 a year? No. I mean, we have to be honest, right?
Yeah.
That's now, if it's, at least somewhat reasonably close, then yeah, of course, because now he's developed a discipline and he understands finances, right? That's a big part of leading a family is understanding how to project your finances so that you know how to meet financial goals in the future, how to accumulate assets in the
Right.
future, right? And so it still has to be close, right? Even, maybe I make 70,000 and you make 120,000, right?
Mhm.
Well, then in that situation, the guy still probably has, what it takes to be able to lead.
Right.
And
Right.
so it's absolutely possible, but it can't be where it's such a clear disparity that, there's a lack of knowledge, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So there still needs to be some type of compatibility when it comes to who's bringing in what, how we're going to manage
Right.
this. And I like what you said about the structure because structure is very important when the emotions start to come into play. And maybe this is a benefit of marriage because a lot of times from both parties, men and women, emotions can kind of get out of hand. Jealousy, discontent, not feeling loved, all the things can kind of lead you to actions that may be against the marriage contract itself. So maybe marriage, we can look at it as a safeguard against our own emotions.
Well, I mean, the data shows that it's the exact opposite.
It
It
doesn't work that.
subjects ourselves. It subjects us to our emotions in the worst way possible.
Right.
We, I'm mad at you. You're mad at me.
Hmm.
I'm taking the house. I'm taking the kids. Now you're gonna fight me over. People have killed themselves over these, killed each other and themselves over these things.
Yeah.
So clearly, the marriage itself is not protecting you from your emotions. That is, it has to be the complete opposite. You know,
It's almost used as a weapon.
most most of the time, I mean, and the truth is, you've had casual relationships or more serious relationships, and the
Mhm.
way those relationships end is distinctly different from how marriage has to end,
100%. I'm so grateful for how all of my relationships ended, and for me to be able to come out relatively unscathed, to be
Right.
able to still, do what I need to do, and them on the other side as well. There's very little emotional trauma coming from my breakups because there wasn't that much enmeshment.
Right. You didn't have a contract.
Right.
And that's the
Right.
thing about contracts, is that if contracts are to be severed, it's gonna get messy. I don't care what's going on. It's gonna get messy. I mean, it's just common sense that if you sever a contract of some sort, it's gonna get messy. Somebody's gonna be upset, one person or the other.
Somebody's going to be upset, and a lot of times, hopefully, children aren't involved because they're going to lose the most. Now, I had someone in the chat. I think it was Shay Watch. Let me go back. She said something about a para para, para I forgot the name of it. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Um, what are some ways we can? Oh, a palimony. What is a palimony?
That's my first time hearing the term.
You gotta You got to stump, Shay Watch. We don't know what the fuck that is. She, we over here finding new ways to. Uh, well, okay. Oh, Brenda said, do neither one of us want to get married? Okay, I'll answer that first because I'm a huge believer. Like, if you got kids, if you want to have children, I think doing the marriage thing is most valuable because for a man to choose a woman that he believes can be the mother of his children, that's a huge gift to the man. But I don't want to have kids. So can you give me a good reason to get married, if not for the kids?
Are you talking to me or Brenda?
I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay. So, well, I guess first to answer her question, I think most men want to get married,
Yeah,
right? That's the first thing. I, I,
yeah.
I think, I have a lot of friends, like you and I have been friends for a
Hmm.
lifetime. We've all gone through stages of our lives, and
Hmm.
still today, most of us absolutely want to be married. The concern is
Hmm.
what you're risking if it doesn't work out well. And then the
Right.
longer you go through life without being married, the more you see how chaotic things can get, and the more you're concerned about risk and relationships not working out. And so I think that I know I personally want to be married, absolutely. My
Hmm.
only concern is what happens if it doesn't work out.
Like, for real, that's a valid question because and that gets me back to asking why. Why would I want to get married with the risk being so high? Because I can achieve all the different things that marriage offers without signing the contract. Why would I sign the
and
contract?
then like she pointed out, even in Texas, there's still some common law principles there that may attach to your relationship depending on the nature of your
Mhm.
relationship, and so, I can't, I still don't know. I ask married people all the time.
Yes.
To this day, I haven't received an answer that extends beyond, religion and personal beliefs. I
And
haven't really seen anything tangible or quantifiable that someone can say like, hey, you get married for this reason.
right.
I have never gotten an answer like that to this day.
And to my point, and Brenda even said, why get in a relationship? Because you get in a relationship to get committed to eventually maybe possibly get married. But I think getting in a relationship and finding that commitment, whether it's with one person or multiple people, there is value in that. There is value in coming together, building something together, cultivating an emotional platform, having a relationship and creating a safe space where value can be exchanged.
Well, and I'll add on to that. We get in relationships because we want to be married. That's, that's
Ultimately,
that's the truth.
ultimately,
You get the only so as a man, especially a successful man, especially a man that women are attracted to,
hmm
getting women to interact with you, hang out with you, exchange companionship with you is not a difficult thing, right?
right.
So when you get in relationships where you're kind of like, hey, I'm going to kind of focus on you and what we're doing together, and especially if you get to the point where it's a commitment thing,
hmm
right? You're doing that because deep down inside, you want her to be your wife,
Right.
right? And so
Right.
men get in relationships for that reason because they do want to be married.
hmm
If they didn't want to be married, there wouldn't be any semblance of a relationship. It'd be one night stands or
Right.
hey, I see you once a month maybe, and I'm doing my thing.
Right.
Other if I'm seeing you on a regular basis, I'm taking you out to dinner. I'm going
hmm
to on dates with you. We're living
hmm
together. We start buying things together. I buy you, valuable things that you can keep and all this
hmm
kind of stuff. It's
hmm
because I want you to be my wife, right? That's the only reason why you do it. So you get in relationships for the same reason of having that deep down desire to be married. People want to be married. Most of the men I know actually strongly desire to be married.
Yeah.
Their concern is the consequences.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want commitment. I may, I think the only reason I'm like talking about having two girlfriends and making that work is to ease my mind of the potential emotional and financial loss of monogamy. I feel like when there's one person, it's like you're all in with one person, but bringing in a third person, it's almost like bringing a balance of resources, time, energy, and emotional continuity. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I just haven't found the right one yet. But shit, I don't.
Well, now you know my background, so I could probably provide some perspective on that as well.
hmm
I did have a 2-year polygamy relationship, and to a certain extent, a lot of those things you said are true. It's probably not so applicable to the conversation today, but
Sure.
you got people, you got someone to interact with when I'm not there,
Right.
or when you're not there, I have someone to interact
Right.
with, or we can combine 3 incomes, or we can go
Right.
have trips and then you even just the having multiple opinions and
Right.
ideas, it,
Right.
it it enhances your experience. Now I'm not saying that's the number one way to go or anything like that. I'm just saying that is true. It
And so
can,
for
and
me, I
even
just
if you
want to
do
try it
that,
out.
and
I just want.
even if you do that, it's still a relationship, and it still can be a commitment, and
Right.
it still can be something that you treat as a marriage.
Right.
You still can buy properties
Right.
together. You still can buy cars. You still can. It's all the same thing.
I agree. I agree. The Gam said, "Can the two girlfriends also have two boyfriends?" And if they want two boyfriends, that's fine. But I'm talking about spending time, energy, resources. We're investing. We're traveling together. We're have properties together. That's what I'm talking about. Because I can be with people who are dating other people and be fine with that. But I'm talking about real investment. I'm talking about pouring in my energy, my time, my love, my empathy, my space holding. Those are valuable things that I think a wife would want. But I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know, looking a little tight out here. I don't know, man. But yo, Darrell, I appreciate your time, your energy, your
Absolutely.
perspective. First class all the way. You probably saved millions of dollars in this one conversation for so many people.
I hope so, man. I hope so. That's why I do it. So I hope so. I appreciate the opportunity to kind of discuss these topics. These are big things,
Yeah,
especially now as
yeah,
society continues to evolve, and
mhm,
the numbers just say something's not working, right?
yeah,
No matter what you decide is
right,
what's working and what's not, something's amiss,
right.
right? And so the only way we get to any real answers is to discuss these things and to be honest and, like I said, to be objective, you know.
hmm hmm
And so I
Thank
appreciate you
you so
giving me that
much.
opportunity.
Yes, we're gonna bring you back on soon because I know the people want to know. I'm interested to know how things are going to continue to change as the new administration that's coming in
um,
and how everything. But we got conversations for days. But let's tap in. I look forward to posting this, and that way people can have some more information going on as they continue to learn. Any
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me on.
any last words for the community before you go?
Hey, keep doing the Lord's work, brother. Keep
We,
doing the Lord's work. That's all I can say.
yo, somebody was like, "You should be the next Kevin Samuels." I'm like, if Kevin Samuels can't save y'all, what makes y'all think I can save you?
But you know, to be honest though, I do think that we have seen like the effect of the Kevin Samuels conversation, right? The uncomfortable
Yeah,
conversation where we start telling the truth about
yeah,
the expectations you have of the
yeah.
kind of men you want and how to attract those kind of men. And when I look at the landscape of social media,
Mm-hmm.
these things are being
Yeah,
discussed now. And so he's definitely left his imprint.
yeah.
Um, you know, I think that we as black men, especially Morehouse
Mm-hmm.
men, we have an obligation to take it the next step further, you know.
We
And
really
so,
do.
you know,
You're
so
absolutely right.
we have to.
You're absolutely right. His words and his work definitely not in vain. Definitely didn't lose me. You know, I have said he's definitely put me in a position to stand on business.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, a lot of people don't look at it this way, but
Right.
the truth is, most of what he did was to help women.
Yeah.
You know but that's they don't look at it. They look at it like offensive, misogynist. And the thing is, he's trying to give you insight on how these men actually think, how they
Yep.
really operate. And he
Yeah.
was spot on for the type of men these women are talking about: men who make 200,000 or more,
Yep.
men who build businesses and manage
Right.
assets. He's telling you the truth.
Yep. He's telling the truth, and it's a difficult truth to accept because there's a high level of responsibility that needs to be taken from both men and women when it comes to showing up their best selves. People want to have easy relationships, easy marriages. They want to just clock into the marriage and then peace out and then just act like no, the work starts when you get married. The work starts when you decide to commit to the relationship. The work starts as soon as you decide you want a better life for yourself. So you're absolutely right. And I've taken the challenge to redirect my mentality when it comes to relationships and how I'm treating myself and how I'm setting boundaries and the standards that I'm setting for myself. So you're absolutely right. You're absolutely
And,
right.
and the last thing I just want to add before I go is
Hmm.
that both men and women in our society have unreasonable expectations, right? It's not
Hmm.
just the women, it's not just the men, right? And so, men, if you want the certain people that you're not qualified for, well, you have to earn those qualifications. And it's the same thing with women,
Yeah.
right? If you want these type of men, well, these men expect certain qualifications. And
Yeah.
so he also opened that door up for men and women. You know, like, hey,
Yeah.
if I'm making $15 an hour
Yeah.
and I live with my parents, I'm probably not going to get this person that I think I deserve, right? So I
Right.
have to make a change. You know,
Right.
you have to confront that, even if it's uncomfortable. You know, and so
Yeah.
that's my
That's the
last
work.
piece on that. You know,
That's the
rest in
work.
peace, Kevin, Uncle Kev, man.
R.I.P.
Rest
Uncle
in peace.
Kev. You're absolutely right. It's the work. So I'm here. Let's show up. Let's do it. Yo, Vegas next week, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Baby.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yo, I'll top in with you, man. I appreciate your time.
All right, brother.
Peace, man. My community. Oh, y'all get y'all shirts. Y'all slide of my bio. Yo, I appreciate the vibes today. We did it. Bring it down a little bit. Today was a good conversation. I hope that everyone took advantage of the information that was given by a real professional, like he knows what he's talking about. And the numbers do not lie. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to come together. I'm tired. Honestly, I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of the manipulation. I'm tired of the entitlement. And so let's take it upon ourselves to love each other. Can we do that for a change? My community, can we do that? Can we love each other? What does that look like? Go love on yourself today. Go find a tree and hug it. Go tell somebody that you love them. And have a good week. I will see y'all next time. Peace.